Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Vanessa. Thank you so much for coming and becoming the guest on our podcast show.
Thank you
I'm
for
very
having me.
excited and thrilled about everything that we'll be talking and discussing today. So, at first, I would love you to introduce yourself and tell me a bit about your background. Where are you from? How old are you? What you're doing for a living? And then we'll take the direction of the whole podcast.
Right. So, yeah, I'm Vanessa. I work as a 3D character artist in video games, and I'm from Romania. I've been doing this for about 6 years now.
Romania is raising a lot of talented people, by the way.
Yes, that is true.
Very
That is true.
impressive, really
Yes.
bravo. Tell me, please, Vanessa, why 3D artist?
Oh, well, there's actually quite a story behind that.
Okay.
So
I love
I
stories.
Yeah, so I've loved drawing my entire life, pretty much ever since I was little. And I went to do Fine Arts University in Bucharest
All right.
to learn how to draw better professionally,
Okay.
become a full-fledged artist. And I wanted to do concept art, it's pretty much just a 2D like concepting illustration for video games. But as time passed, I just couldn't get a grasp on it. I
All
just
right.
couldn't really get there. But then one day I saw someone making a character in a software called ZBrush, which
Okay.
is like just like modeling with clay in real life. And I fell in love instantly. So I thought, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do.
From the look of it,
Yeah, just by looking at it, I thought this is what I want to do. Yeah.
how did you learn it?
Well, I started with tutorials online.
Okay. You found like on YouTube, online, like some
Yeah,
course.
yeah,
Okay.
just YouTube and other platforms for like tutorials and stuff. And then I was offered an internship at a company in Romania
Okay.
for a month,
All right.
which this company worked. I did outsourcing for game developers.
All right.
Yeah. And yeah, after a month, they liked me. So they thought, hey, let's keep her.
Let's keep her. Let's see
Yeah.
what else she can do.
Yeah. So I worked there for about 4.5 years. And then,
Wow.
yeah.
That was your first job.
It was my first job. Yeah. Yeah.
And then later on, you just like started switching, taking different projects based on the complexity and
Yeah.
interest, right?
Yeah.
Tell me, please, what is your passion for in terms of what do you like to visualize? What do you like to, I don't know if I call it paint. No, it's not really like, what do you like to create? What type of characters?
So mostly I'm passionate about the human form. I'm passionate about making anything that has to do with humans, realistic kind of game graphics, making stuff look as real as possible.
Where do you get this knowledge from? To know, for example, how a person looks after a certain event, let's say, because like for the gaming, you have to have like a different type of the, I don't know, look, touch, and feel of after every event that's happening, right?
Yeah. So there is actually a lot about that because when you make a character for a game, you have to tell a story just from how they look, like from the details that you apply on them, on their textures, on their form. Everything has to tell a story.
Okay.
Like starting from the dust on their shoulders to the scratches on their hands, everything. When you look
Where
at a
you get it
character.
all from? Is it from the life experience, or you read about it, or you watch some documentaries, let's say? Like, where do you get these tips? Like, oh, this person looks at it, he has to have this here now. The for example, I don't know, jacket needs to be like a little bit dirty or muddy, or he needs to have a scratch because of something. Like, where, how?
Well, it's all about being able to notice details in things, which, it's for like a big part of it is the artistic training that, like the formal university part.
Yes,
They
yes. So,
teach you how to look at things differently, how to notice details. But yeah, there's also a lot of online stuff. There are people that talk about it. There
yeah.
are like talks and people that do presentations and give you all these kind of details, like, hey, look for that, look for this, try to apply this. Also, it's looking at other video games and how they do it, how other artists do it.
You get inspiration from the
Yeah,
work
yeah.
of other people, from seeing what you can do better than them or what you can do.
Absolutely, yeah. You have to always take inspiration.
Tell me, please, do you think that there is a limit to the knowledge that you can apply here, or like,
I don't think so. I think it's pretty much limitless. There's always something more that you can do to a character. Always. I honestly, in my experience, I never have enough time to add as much detail as I want.
it's like how far your imagination takes you, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's imagination. It's also how deep into details you want to go, because the world is fractal. You can always go deeper and deeper and deeper and make it more realistic, more
Vanessa,
appealing.
tell me, please, how long does it take you to have an idea, the image of a character that you're planning to create? For example, when someone tells you about for example, someone describes you the game that they want to develop, for example, and they're telling you about all the strategies and how they want it. How long does it take you after understanding the whole picture to create already and to know, oh, this is what I'm going to be doing?
Right. Well, that is something that happens gradually as you make a character, because like, let's say someone comes to me and they want me to make like a main character in their game.
Yes.
At first, I'm going to think of the bigger details. So, like, if it's a character that's living in like some post-apocalyptic world, for example, because that's like a really trendy kind of
Yeah, yeah,
game right
yes,
now.
yeah.
I'm gonna think, oh, that means, he's probably gonna wear some ragged clothes. He's probably gonna have some like scratches. Maybe he's scavenging for resources, so maybe his gloves are dirty. And I'm gonna
Muddy and
think
stuff,
of
yeah.
all this. I'm gonna put him in different scenarios in that kind of world. Like, how does he get his water? How does he get his sustenance? Where does he hang out at all? Does he
Yeah.
hunt? So you have to think of all these scenarios of the character's everyday life and try to put him in there and think of all the mechanics behind it. And what would you do in those
Basically, you put
scenarios?
yourself
Yeah,
in
pretty
place of
much.
that character, and how my life would have been if I was inside this game,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. Yeah. But then all the smaller details
Yes.
come gradually as you work on the character, because new ideas pop up, and yeah, you just add to it.
Do you have this moment when you feel low? You feel like a bottleneck, when just you don't have this creativity. I'm not saying like completely, but do you know this moment when you feel low, you just like nothing comes into your mind, you're just unable to come up with things. Let's say you're at this emotional state, maybe because as an artist, I believe that you guys are perceiving this world through through your eyes, through your senses, through your heart. You put a lot of emotions, a lot of sense, like you're more sensitive towards everything that's happening because you absorb every single detail. Like, and when you're a type of a person that notices everything, whether you like it or not, somehow it affects you as well. If it's positive things, it will affect you in a positive way. If it's something negative that you are surrounded with for, let's say, some period of time, it also, you can see it in the way you express, let's say, your characters. So what do you do when you feel, let's say, low, when you feel like, how do you come up with a challenge like that? Because I feel for you, in many cases, you might be your own stopper. So how do you deal in the moments like that?
Yeah, so definitely things can get overwhelming
Yes,
sometimes. So artists, I think, generally are pretty emotional people.
yes.
And I think, well, we call it the artist's block when you just are
You
out of
can't force
ideas.
creativity.
Yeah, you absolutely cannot force creativity. But what I find helps me in this kind of situations is kind of stepping out for a bit, you know.
Isolating yourself, letting yourself like to
Yeah, taking a
take it
break
easy.
from it and doing something completely different. Completely different. Like, don't stop looking at the canvas, stop looking at the character, just stop looking at anything related to it. Don't look at the references, don't look in other places. Just do
Leave
something
it.
completely different for, I don't know, however long you need it to get yourself back in the mood and like regain some energy. What I personally do,
Yeah.
I also play music in my free time. So
Which instrument you
I
perform
play
on?
the harp.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay. When
yeah.
did you learn how to play harp?
I have a teacher, and
Like it's something you are learning now
yeah,
to do.
I'm still learning.
Okay.
I started learning like a year and a half ago. Yeah.
What pushed you to pick this instrument, for example, out of all?
I think I don't know. It was just manic. I was like one day, I want to play the harp, so I went and bought a harp.
You know, Vanessa, I feel like you are the type of a person that don't like mainstream. It's
No,
like if everyone, let's say, for example, if everyone likes cupcakes, I'm gonna eat steak. You know,
exactly, exactly.
I get this
I
energy from,
absolutely am that kind
right?
of person. Yeah, yeah.
Like
I've been.
harp, really?
Yeah, I
Like,
know. Well, I also play the guitar
yeah.
as well, but
But you understand what I mean? Like a
yeah,
lot of people will play piano, let's say, like or a
yeah,
drums, you know, and
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I've been running from the mainstream my entire life ever since I was little. I don't know why. It's just in my
I
nature.
feel like it blocks the creativity.
Yeah.
It blocks the creativity.
Seeing the same
Yes,
thing every day, it just
exactly.
makes you, you know, kind of makes you the same. And
I don't like the mass minds as well. I like people with their this like unique characteristics. Be complicated, be hard, but be yourself.
yeah,
Like you know,
exactly, exactly.
those people they always have the most interesting stories. They have the most interesting characters, and more often they have the like the kindest hearts. You know, it just they seem to be strong.
Yeah.
But like, yes, they have the kindest heart in most cases. That's very nice. Vanessa, tell me please, what it takes to become a 3D artist? What set of skills someone needs to have in order to succeed and become a 3D artist?
Well, depending on the type of 3D artist, because there are multiple things that you can do
Yes.
in this sphere. So, as a character artist, there's a lot of stuff you need to know. Like starting from the most important part, I think, when you make characters is the anatomy. You need to know human anatomy very, very well, and then we pretty much do it all. We have to be, you know, hairstylists. We have to be tailors.
Everything. You have to know
We
everything.
have to be tailors, we have to be blacksmiths, we have to be, you know, pretty much everything, because you have to know how to make like their hair look good, how to make their makeup look good, like
You are
everything.
responsible for the whole experience.
Yeah, yeah,
For the whole experience
yeah.
of a gamer, whether they will fall in love with the game or not
Yeah,
based on
well,
this. Yeah.
everything related to characters, yeah, like
Yes.
their clothes, their armor,
Yeah.
their, you know, how they look from top to bottom, everything. You have to know how to do it. But this kind of stuff is not, you don't need to know it from the top of your head. You can always get references. All of us, even the most experienced artists, always have like, you know, a board of references that they've gathered from the internet, and just, you know, look at them. That's, I think, is really important to have a lot of reference.
I think what is also important in this is like knowing what to look for, because there is a plenty of information available, let's say online, but to know
Absolutely.
exactly which one, like you know, the it might look all the same, but
Yeah,
they can affect the final product in a completely different way.
yeah, yeah.
That's very nice. Vanessa, please tell me that. I want you to give a piece of advice to everyone who wants to learn 3D modeling, let's say with Teachmecode or with any other institution. Maybe something that you wish you knew before, you know, like something that you learned over the time, something that will like make their journey a little bit easier, let's say.
Yes. So, my advice. I think this is something I would definitely tell myself if I were to you know, go back and
Yeah.
is to be patient with yourself, because it's a process. and sometimes it can feel overwhelming. It can feel like a lot. But you do learn bit by bit, you know, baby steps. Everyone learns at their own pace. But you do get there. You do get there, and it's awesome. It's really rewarding. You just have to give yourself time.
I think every change is a growth,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
good things, they don't come easy to us.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best, Vanessa.
Thank you so much.
I feel very happy that we had this episode. I
Me
feel
too.
very happy to get to know you, to find out more about your profession, about your experience. I wish you all the best, all the success.
Thank
And
you.
I'm not a gamer myself, but I'm ready to try a game that has been personalized by you, customized by you, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a very exciting experience for me. Thanks again for coming today to our studio. I'm not saying bye to you, and I'm hoping to see you again in the next episode because I feel like there is a lot you have to share with us.
Sure.
Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot
Thank you
again.
so much for having me.
Bye bye.